Hi everybody, this is Everyday Commentary. This is the third take on this stupid review. I've tried to get this thing done right, and unfortunately because it is really shiny, this thing is hard to take pictures of, and otherwise you get like a reflection like that. This is a review of a custom Swiss Army knife, Rambler, made for me by a guy named Aaron Solomon who goes by BushidoMosquito on the forums. You can find him on multitool.org, the multi-tool forum, and you can find him on EDCF. I'm sure he's probably on other forums, but those are the two I found him on. If you'd like to contact him, you can contact him at bushidomosquito.gmail.com. This particular model is a custom SAK, custom Swiss Army knife Rambler with titanium scales, titanium front scale, titanium back scale, an over-the-top pocket clip that Aaron built specifically for this one, for me, and a green tritium insert. Typically I carry the custom Rambler with my Steve Koo 40DD, which is another tiny custom item that has tritium inserts. Unfortunately, I wish I would have gone with the green that Aaron gave me in the custom Rambler, because the blue in the 40DD, you can see them and they're not faint because they're brand new, but they're not as bright as the green. The green really stands out. So I'm going to go through this, do this the typical way. I have 10 categories, and it can get a score of 0, 1, or 2 in each of the categories. And based on that score, it gets an overall score of anywhere from 0 to 20, 20 being perfect. It gets a 2 if it does really well in a category, it gets a 1 if it does okay, and it gets a 0 if it doesn't do well at all. I graded this as a multi-tool, and so the categories are a little different. I'm going to go through them one at a time. The first category is the same category I always start out with, which is design. What does this thing look like on paper? On paper, this looks like a great, tiny little multi-tool. The Swiss Army knife Rambler itself, before it got all beautified, is a pretty nice, small, everyday carry item. It has some really common tools, the first being this really nice bottle opener and Phillips head, and then there's a little wire stripper. The second being a tiny pin knife, which I like quite a bit. The third being a set of teeny tiny scissors. And then the final one is a flathead driver on one side and a fingernail file, or a file on the other side. About the only thing that it's missing really is a pair of pliers, and it's really hard to put pliers on Swiss Army knives, especially ones this small. So if you want pliers, you're probably going to have to go with one of the Leatherman items, like the Style plier scissors, or the PS4. I like the Leatherman, but this is significantly smaller. It's significantly thinner, and it's significantly lighter. So if I don't want to carry the Leatherman, or if I'm going someplace where I just want something really discreet or really classy looking, not that anybody cares but me, I usually go with this. I usually take this to work with me and have it hide in my top pocket. So the design of the knife is really based on, it's pretty much the exact same as the regular Rambler, other than the custom scales. And the regular Rambler is a really good little design. I would have given it a 2 out of 2. With the scales, the tritium insert being a nice feature, and these replaceable Torx heads. So I can actually pop this scale off, put it to the side, take out the tool, put in a tool from another Swiss Rambler, and put it back together and have this thing keep going for years and years. That's a nice feature. But the thing that really turns this on its head, the thing that makes this just an amazing little gadget, is this over-the-top pocket clip. Aaron's design on this over-the-top pocket clip is perfect. It is absolutely perfect. It is better than the wire clip on the Spydercos that I like so much. It is better than the double dip pocket clip on the Sebenza. It's low profile. It's over the top. It's deep, 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 deep carry. Basically, when you throw it in your pants, all you see is this. It's just super, super tiny. That's it. You see just that much, and then you have the clip itself. And because it's so plain, it kind of looks like a pen clip. Like, no one's like, what the heck is that? No one's ever asked me. And I like that. I like the fact that it doesn't look like a knife. It doesn't look scary. So in terms of design, I gave this a 2 out of 2. This is just an amazing design. The Rambler itself is great, but Aaron's touches make this amazing. In terms of fit and finish, you know, the knife itself came to me from Aaron, and it was perfectly shiny, perfectly smooth. It did not have the giant fingerprints or the swirly scratches that it has on it now. But I carry this a lot. The edges were nice and rounded over. Everything was polished. Everything was sharp. It was simply perfect in every possible way. I would have given it a 2 out of 2 at fit and finish from Swiss Army Knife, because it's a pretty nice knife other than the chintzy celluloid handle, the red plastic handle. But when it came from Aaron, it was just superb. There was nothing wrong with it. So it gets a 2 out of 2 on fit and finish. In terms of theme, this is a thing that I had talked about on the website for multi-tools, and it's basically, why do you carry this thing? What does it do, and does it work well in that role? And in terms of like everyday, you know, mundane tasks, like, you know, oh, I gotta tighten the knob on that drawer, or I gotta open this beer, or I gotta cut this little, you know, string off my suit or something like that, this works really well. I mean, as a light, discreet, small, everyday carry, this does everything you'd want it to do, and does it well. Again, I'd like pliers, but, you know, I don't think, you know, like in its role for me, it's basically an office knife. I don't really need pliers on an office knife, and this works really fine. So in terms of theme, I give it a 2 out of 2. It does it very, very well. It does this office utility, you know, role very, very well. In terms of carry, it is extremely small. The titanium makes it very light. The pocket clip is nice. So I give it a 2 out of 2 in terms of carry. It's just, you know, I think it's 0.6 ounces. So for under 2 ounces, I have a lot of my bases covered. I have an infinite variable brightness flashlight, which I really, really like. And I have a really nice Swiss Army knife. And that's all 2 ounces. So in terms of carry, I gave it a 2 out of 2. In terms of materials, the steel is the classic Swiss Army knife stainless steel, which is really, really stain resistant, and really tough. It doesn't chip out, it doesn't break, but it's really soft. There's no hardness to this at all, almost. It's 1.4116 stainless steel, and it does fine. It's great in the roll. You know, like I wouldn't use it to chop or to whittle all that much because it would get dull fast, but in the role that it serves, it does it well. So give it a 2 out of 2 there. When you add in the custom shiny titanium scales and the tritium insert, of course it gets better. In terms of deployment and accessibility, they all use nail nicks. The nail nicks are really easy to get to. I like them quite a bit. On a knife this size, it's probably the only practical way, so I gave it a 2 out of 2 there. For retention method, again, the really nice pocket clip. It's a 2 out of 2 there. Tool selection. As I've said, you know, if I had my choice, I'd probably get something with pliers. But you can't do pliers and still be this small. The plier heads have to have a certain amount of mass. But for the selection, or for the size, it has pretty much everything I'd want. So I gave it a 2 out of 2 there. But here's the really great thing. This knife, this little multi-tool, really works. You can really wrench on it. You can get in there and grab stuff, pull on it. I give it a 2 out of 2 in grip. But it also means that the tools are really, really well designed. I mean, Swiss Army Knife has been making pocket knives for 60 or 70 years, and they've really perfected the way to make these tools work. For example, this is a true 3-dimensional Phillips driver. I hate those 2-dimensional Phillips drivers. They work, but they don't work well. This thing works great. It's nice and pointy, so I can get in there, but the cuts are deep, so I can move bigger screws too. I really like that. The scissors are the classic Swiss Army Knife spring-loaded scissors, and they really work quite well. They're tiny, tiny, tiny scissors, but you can really cut stuff with them. They're nice and sharp and pointy. The pen knife is equally sharp. So in terms of tool performance, I gave it a 2 out of 2. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to need to buy another small Swiss Army knife. I might buy an Alox Cadet just to have one, but this thing is amazing. I love it. It works really well. It works great in my, you know, drop it in a suit pocket, carry it with me to the office. It does a lot of stuff that you need. It's not scary to anyone. It's really useful, and it's shiny. Cannot say enough about being shiny. It takes something that's basically a classic utility item and makes it really, really classy. in the end, I think this came to something around $200 to $250, but I got it in trade, so I gave him some cash, I gave him some items, and I really think this was worth it. I mean, it's just a really great little knife. If you have any interest, I would strongly recommend contacting Aaron, again at BushidoMosquito.gmail.com, and see if he could hook you up. Otherwise, I will sign off and say, I love these two together.